Africa, generally it is not enough for you to have a degree. Yes, it doesn't make you only successful. Everybody now has a business, but in business there is a major issue: finance. And ability to manage, understand, and deploy it makes your business either successful or not successful. Welcome to today's edition of Podcast Friday. My name is Feromi, and this is proudly sponsored by GoFree. And I'm sure you know we are discussing exciting things that makes this your business, your own financial life, and everything that has to do with you experience freedom. And I have with me today on the show Dekon Adejuma. Yes, for the first couple of times you will be seeing Dekon more frequently on this until we are able to establish all of the things that GoFree has in package for everyone. Welcome once again. Dekon, thank you for joining me today again. I hope you are enjoying yourself at this time. You look so relaxed. Is this the behavior of founders?
Well, business is doing well.
Thank you so much for finding time to join us today. So we want to talk about finance today. And the reason why we feel that finance is also one of the things we need to talk about, it's not only because GoFree is in finance, it's because in everyday life, especially for businesses in Africa, individuals in Africa, finance is one of the major factors of who we are, how we are, and what we will become. So I think that everyone, especially our listener, we want to know how finance help in the way of managing their lives altogether. It's going to be an interesting time. I promise that I have wonderful questions for you to be able to share with our user from your wealth of experience. And I'm hoping that you too will have questions for Liko, and you will want to know a couple of things from his perspective. So if you have a question, drop it in the comment section. I will join you shortly. Once again, welcome to this podcast. That finance is one of the major issues you will need to learn how to manage, how to receive it, and how to deploy it as at the time that will make your business to continue to be prosperous. And some of the challenges you are going to have around finances is the reason why I have Lekon on the business today. As a business owner, I know he has first-hand information, first-hand experiences about some of the challenges that has faced his personal business. And you might be wondering why Lekon this time around at the same time. Lekon is a two-time founder. In fact, I may not be able to announce it openly, but he's becoming a third-time founder. Yeah, there's another business in Lekon's pipeline that is already working on it. So if he has not been able to manage finance that well, I'm not sure that these businesses will be successful in that manner. So we have Lekon on ground to share with us wealth of experiences of finances managed and problems that we are likely going to face in the process of things. So Lekon, the reason why I brought you on the show today is basically because I want us to share with our viewers some of the challenges around finance for businesses in Africa. Specifically, we are in an environment where our banking system, in fact, don't let me use banking, our system in itself makes things very difficult. Now we have to depend on many other providers from outside our continent before some of the things we are doing can survive. Nigeria as a big country are import economy. So many things are not provided internally. So banks, businesses, banking in the global space have to depend on providers from outside Nigeria. I know that GoFree is bridging this gap one way or the other, but what have you seen in this space that represent a bigger problem for businesses in the area of finance? What has been your experience?
The biggest pain any business owner will experience today is getting paid for their product or their service.
Are you saying that I offer you a service, you will not pay me?
Well, not necessarily. Customers are willing to pay, but the mode of payment could be fragmented. And this is what I meant. It's difficult enough to start a business,
Of course.
create a product, or offer a service. In fact, it's more difficult to getting a customer. So you've escaped the two phases of order. Why should
Which are significant, by the way.
so why should getting paid for the same product or for the same service still be a messy experience? Looking back now to a couple of years ago, I remember a couple of my experience when I wanted to open the very first bank account for my business. I tried UBA. I was still in Lagos, and literally
That's in Nigeria.
yes, Nigeria.
Okay.
So literally, I juggle from home to their bank branch like an hour, 30 minutes journey, and I do that.
We all know Nigeria is. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to believe
So,
it.
and I do that like not once, not twice.
That's
The
a
bank-
whole lot of productive hours in transport.
Yeah. So
Just to open a bank account.
Just to open a bank account. So
That's much.
that goes on and on for like almost 4 weeks. And at the end of the day, even after the bank account was opened, still could not use it.
Why?
Different sorts of restrictions. I have to have another business owner that has a bank account that could stand as a referee. So if I'm starting a business new, I already have a business set up, registered. I still have to go and sort for businesses that already have bank account to come and start as well.
So this is one problem.
So why yes, compliance is a major risk that must not be overlooked, but we could make it more seamless for business owners. It's really difficult enough to start a business to get a customer. Why should still get a bank account for their business? B, another set of what do they have to overcome?
I would like to ask you a question at that point exactly that you are saying. We know that the way the world works, businesses are sometimes used as fronts for money laundering, for whatever it is that bad actors want to leverage to game the system. So don't you think these checks and balances are there to prevent stuffs like that? What do you think? I'm trying to make a case for the restrictions in finance and all of these things, because if you have a referee, just like you said, we know that okay, this business is existing, is a referee to this business, so at least it's showing us the legitimacy. It's just like you write a review for someone. Don't you think this is also very important in regulations?
Yeah, getting a referee or a guarant of a business, like I said, compliance is very important. It's not really the headache, but the bureaucracy of the process.
So the
Yeah,
actual issue here is the bureaucracy that comes into play.
Yeah, we are in the age of technology and AI, and a lot of things can be seamless. These things can effortlessly be done from the comfort of your house.
That's correct. I
From
agree
the
with you.
comfort of a web platform, just input a link, submit all that is needed, and all of this is managed by AI that goes through compliance checks, validating a lot of these things. Now, even for small business owners that are just starting out, you have, for example, small business owners that are just starting out are not going to be transacting in millions at the beginning. So you could do their compliance as the business grows. Why deploying? We're in the age of AI. Why deploying AI that continuously monitors and evaluates these transactions at all costs on these platforms? And you could easily flag all transactions that is suspected as fraud or money laundering. But what we are saying is that you can put system in place that accommodate these business owners that are just starting out to be able to breathe and chase their dream.
So technically, you are emphasizing that this compliance is not something that shouldn't be in place,
Yeah.
but they should be in place in such a way that experience will still be smooth
Yeah.
over time. In such a way that maybe you should be able to open a bank account only with your business registration details, your own ID verified as the owner of the business, every other document, if in case you need license, you have your bank account. And then some levels of transaction can come into the bank account, at least to keep your business running. When you get to grow to a certain stage, then follow up of compliance is
Yeah.
is that what you're trying to establish by what you're
Yes,
saying?
definitely. When the business starts doing a million a day or 10 million a month, you might start requiring for more information or more documents,
so that it
about
does not
the
become a
proofs,
front
about the
for
proofs
money
of
laundering.
transactions that has been ongoing, transactions received, evidence of the business, just to ensure that no one is gaming your system, especially when it comes to the money laundering. So compliance is not just a one-day thing; it's a growth throughout the lifetime of your business.
Of the
customer.
business.
So you can let them start becoming compliant over time from day one.
I even believe that if you have started, at least you have a relationship with that business already. Leveraging on that relationship to say, oh, I'm in customer support in your bank. I need this kind of document to ensure that we notice that you are doing this and this. You are growing to this stage. We need this additional document to move you. At least trust will have been generated by that period. Thank you for giving response and context to that very well. So one of the problems you mentioned now is the messy experience about even having a bank account, the stress that it takes or something. Okay, now that we have to depend on those, because I'm very sure that many African businesses will have to take their banking experience into another space entirely if our own provision is this difficult, right? Every business wants things done quickly, especially when clients want to pay you. So what has been your experience? Have you banked with banks outside of the country for your business? I know the last edition of our podcast you talked about your personal banking experience, but this time around for your business, have you tried to now open a bank account outside of the shore of Africa, for example? What were the experience like? Was it this same problem you faced, or another problem entirely that is not about opening accounts, but maybe they close the account? Yeah. So what were your experience like?
As messy as you could say that the banking sector might be, especially for business owner in Nigeria, I still believe it's nothing compared to outside of Nigeria.
Do you mean it's more messy?
It's more messy. And it's the truth. And it's because there is so many system design not to favor emerging markets, especially Africa. For example, even if you have a business that is legally registered in the United States and is operating as maybe a C Corp or private liability company, duly registered and certified in that particular country, because it is a company that is African owned, the experience is totally frustrating. In fact, twice or thrice, I have personally experienced our business bank account being shut down just because.
So I was right when I said close your bank account this time around.
So at the very first beginning, yes, the account is being opened. You are able to be operational with no flag, no notice. You can just receive an email saying we are shut down your account, and that's it. Your money is gone with it. So it could possibly take more than 8 weeks before you could even get your money that's been locked out, get withdrawn out.
Without any reason.
Without any reason. I've had another platform whereby we set up an account, and I'm talking about businesses that are not even into finances as much as these are businesses that are like just software business, so which is practically the standard across the globe. But because it's an African owned or African funded startup, even though duly registered in the United States, it's still not being.
That reminds me, that is a news that broke out sometimes ago, specifically on Twitter, where X now, sorry, where people were saying some African-owned businesses were closed by a particular brand in the US. Okay, yeah, you got them well. I was looking at what could be the reason why everybody were shouting at the same time. That I saw people, I may not be able to mention their name here for respect and honor sake, complaining about their business closed down, looking for where to business account closed down, looking for where to move their money or something like that. That makes more sense now that you are explaining it, that even though you can open easily, they can close easily. Our own indigenous, you cannot open easily, but they may not close easily. This is messy, truly. Are there other problem you've been able to also identify as a business owner about the issue around finance in business? Maybe we talk about maybe getting investor or managing the investors funds or something like that. How has it been?
Okay, well, I think another thing that might have been overlooked is that all of these things are not automated. For example, you cannot just wake up in a day and say you want to get a bank account in the United States. You have to be registered in that country. That is another level of compliance. It's
But
like,
shouldn't there be a way where I can register my company even though I'm not in the United States, but I'm registering in the United States for the company?
yeah, why that is possible, you can have your business registered in another country for possibility growth or scaling factor. But the truth is that compliance and tax is another headache in those countries. So while you are having an entity in those countries that is subjected to their tax regulations, so you are getting tax in Nigeria and still getting tax in the United States because you have an entity registered with them, even though you might not be operational there. So that's another level of finance headache. Looking at your accounting, looking at your declarations, looking at your tax returns, and different lot of things.
I think our viewer will also maybe be interested in the topic of tax because it's another thing entirely when it comes to businesses. Maybe in one of the episodes, viewer, let me know if this is something you will want to. I think that tax is something we should talk about. I would like your comment about this. Lekon has been able to identify like 3 major problems we've been able to see so far. The bureaucracy in opening of accounts in some jurisdiction in Africa, and the problem that businesses face by closing down their accounts because they try to bank offshore or sometimes in areas outside of their jurisdiction, compliance level of taxation, and some other challenges that revolve around finances. I can tell you that it can be very difficult for sometimes business owner. If I share with you some of the background things I've also found in my personal research before this podcast about how they even pay their staffs. Sometimes it's that difficult for business owner to pay their staff, and it has gone to so many solutions that we've seen from many of these businesses. Some will have to maintain like different bank accounts in different banks just because they want to pay, and their staff member, sometimes some have to enforce their staff member to be a customer of one particular bank just because they want to pay them. Do you think that this is sustainable? I may not want 2 bank accounts to my name. I may just want to bank with a provider. And because I'm working with you, I'm now forced to open a bank account because you don't want to go through that stress or something. Do you think that that's a way that can be simplified? I mean, I want to pay my staff and I want to pay well. I know that in my personal research, I've seen people complain on social media about how difficult is it for sometimes to pay their staff. Of course, I've seen payroll management system in place over time, but I want to do it without anybody. Sometimes I'm not grown enough to employ a payroll service. So what do you think? How do you think business owner can overcome these challenges?
Okay, 7 years ago, I was part of oil and gas company, and I could see the example you cited earlier is valid. On joining the company, they had to open a bank account with another bank for every one of us, which is basically the standard of like secular jobs right now, as far as the country is concerned. But the messy experience about it is that I think as at then, businesses had to like write a letter of intent for the payments to the banks, like almost maybe a week or 2 weeks ahead
Before the payment
before the
is made.
payment is being made. So there are times that salary could be delayed
As a
because
result of internal processing
internal
and
process and all of those things,
workflows.
which all of these things can easily be resolved. Imagine you have HR team or accounting or just the business owner already. For example, on the GoBusiness now, you create different team, employee team, input different bank account details that they have, and just click a button, and all of them are paid instantly from the comfort of your office.
You are driving me to another thing.
So
entirely.
that is how
The beauty of ease.
that is how effortless managing your business should be. It shouldn't be such a messy headache. And I'm saying this cut across managing your teams across country. You could have your team member in Uganda, in Kenya, in Rwanda, in any part of the world, and still pay them instantly, either in your local currency or in USD compliant.
Thank you so much, Lekon, for the beautiful way with which you've presented all of these challenges and problems that business owners are likely going to face running a business in Africa generally. But I'm very certain that majority of our users and viewers are not actually looking for problem. The reason why we are having this, I'm very sure I'm speaking on your behalf if I say it's not a problem that is interesting, but how do we solve this problem? This is the reason why I believe that this segment is where we could talk about the solution to some of these problems we mentioned. And as a means of recap, we talked about opening a bank account, how the experience is messy, it's time consuming. We talked about the abrupt way with which bank can just decide to close your bank account, especially drawing from your personal experience and some other things we've seen on social media. And then we talked about managing taxations and all of that commitments in compliance that come from different jurisdictions. And then some other things that I feel we go. So what do you think, or let me ask you this question. How do your business, or let's say GoFree generally, help to mediate in this problem? What solution do GoFree have to specifically address these challenges?
Okay, one of the beautiful things of the general entrepreneur is when you have a problem and you see that every other solution available is not suitable enough, whether it's too expensive or it's even more frustration, is to go out and build a solution first for yourself and for many thousands and millions out there. That is why I started GoBusiness.
This is a very good flex. So found problem, you looked at it, and you just build solution for yourself. It's a flex.
It's the truth, because if your solution cannot even solve your own problem, how will you solve the problems of many others in the same solution, in the same situation? So GoBusiness make it effortless for you to get a bank account for your business. I mean instantly, in less than 5 minutes.
You mean that I will be able to create a bank account for my business without having to travel 1.5 hours, just like you mentioned, for 4 weeks to be able to open a bank account?
Yeah.
Without needing another referee before the account can be opened.
In fact, your bank account is already open before your coffee is done.
That's very interesting. So how does this work? What would be the necessary things that will be needed to open this bank account? Just maybe I'm not saying everything, I know it might not be, but major thing that is expected for a business owner to.
Okay, well, every business is subjected to category. We have small businesses, we have medium, large size businesses, we have tech-enabled businesses, startups, and the likes. So the business category or the business size determines the compliance requirements for each of them.
And despite that, they can still open this bank account.
Yes.
In a very limited amount of time, right from the comfort of their home.
In fact, irrespective of the size of your business, from the comfort of your office, your shop, or your home. In fact, going to the Amazon app, just enter business.joingofree.com, input your details.
Oh, you have a web experience?
Yes. So just input your details and you get it done. And for pop-up shops and small business owners that just want to use their mobile device, we have mobile app available as well, where they can self-onboard themselves and get a bank account instantly in less than 5 minutes. So what's required to create a bank account? We KYC the business owners, which is like the most important thing. Every business is
it's definitely run by someone.
So we want to ensure that the business owner is even free of any sort of fraudulent history of whatever manner. And once the KYC of the business owner is completed, we just request for the various required documents, maybe business name, incorporation document, or anything that is validating that that business name belongs to
Exists
you
in itself.
or exists in itself. So once you are able to provide that, you get your bank account in seconds.
Wow.
So the only thing that takes a couple of minutes is a period of you inputting your details.
Which is determined by you.
Which is determined by you. So if you are able to provide all those details in less than a minute, you get your bank account.
There are people that do fastest finger. I believe that some people are fast with their finger. So it means that your business bank account is ready as fast as your finger.
It could be.
I love it.
So generally across business categories, we strongly believe that with the information that are needed, less than 5 minutes you'll be able to create a bank account.
All right, so outside of you now having this bank account, what are the other solutions that they can get from GoBusiness?
Okay, like I said, the most painful thing for a business owner is getting paid, because they just want to get paid. So, but alongside with that is business management tools.
Wow.
You want to understand your business performance. So, what insights is the platform providing for you? So, you don't need to hire an accountant as a some business owner before you know how your business is.
Because I'm just starting out, I don't have
So,
too much capacity to pay an accountant.
So whether it is a small size business or a small medium business or even a tech startup that is just starting out, GoBusiness provide simple and advanced analytics types, which gives you instant insights about performance of your business.
So I will be able to quickly say, this is how much money comes in, this is how much money goes out, this is where the money went to, this is where the money came from.
Definitely, that's what I'm referring to. So you know how much your business is making every week, how much your business is making every month.
That's very important.
Is your business growing or not?
So
who is your biggest customer? That I'm trying to say. You are able to spot out these differences that makes a life-changing experience. It's not just about having another bank account or one bank app that literally provides no insight. Well, someone could argue that bank statement is there. Let me ask you, how many of us has requested bank statements for bank before?
especially for a business who does volumes or frequency, it could be a hassle. So for you to sit down
Imagine
and
you have to
tracing
sit down with like 10
where is
pages
money
of
come
bank
from.
statements.
I
So
understand what you're
it's
trying to say.
extremely traditional book and paper experience.
It's not,
which is
it's not
supposed
smooth.
to be able to have instant insights to your business persona. Who is your biggest customer? Who is giving you more funds? You know how to give them a special treatment and special experience. Okay, as your business owner, be able to understand in a week, are you making a loss or a gain when you are comparing your expenses with your income.
Opening the bank account easily, insights into how your finance moved. You also was saying something about management tools. What other management tools other than analytics that the GoBusiness?
Yeah, so every business is pay bills.
Definitely.
So if you own a shop or you rent an office or you have your own home, definitely you pay bills. Electricity bills, water bills, refuse bills, cable TV bills, or it could be as simple as airtime or data. The effortless or instantly paying for these bills on the platform is very, very important.
So it means that on that
bills payment is available on the platform as well.
Oh, okay.
Where you
So,
can
that's beautiful.
buy electricity bills, top up your credit, cable TVs, and all of those things, which are seamless. But when we want to talk on the advanced level tools, that is very, very essential to business operations, especially for medium-sized or tech startups. Now has to do with managing payroll or managing salary payments, especially on the app. So many times people don't understand that even as a business owner, the business still has to pay you salary. So you should be able to set up a salary structure in place that caters for yourself and your staffs month on month. And we make it effortless in the sense that you can schedule your salary payments, that on the first of every month or the last day of the month, pay your staffs. It's programmatically as simple as like in less than 30 seconds, you create the team, add each person that belongs to it. For example, let's say in GoFree we have 2 teams, design team, engineering team, and each team has 6 members, that's 12 people. Instead of paying them one by one, inputting their bank account details one by one, you can imagine to pay a person can take like 30 seconds. You select their bank, put their account number, get the account name, put the amount, then confirm, then send. Imagine you are repeating that 12 times. Get what I'm trying to say?
That's 30 times 12. Ultimately, you have spent an average of 7-6 minutes before you finish that. That is if the network is strong enough.
Yeah. So what if you just input all their details?
Once
and
and
click
for all.
one button, and all of
Everything.
them are paid instantly.
Wow, this is beautiful, Leko. I think that GoBusiness actually set out to offload some forms of challenges that business owners are meant to face in their day-to-day operation.
Actually, the reason why we decided to do this is because we just want business owners to focus on what matters, your customers.
And not be worried about all of the
All
things
of
that
this.
comes into the process. Thank you so much, Leko. Thank you, our viewers. I'm sure you have learned one or two things from what Leko said. You can download GoBusiness, and on it you will be able to, just like Leko said, pay your staff. You will be able to pay your bills. You'll be able to receive money, and you can have a bank account in your business name, both in Naira. I believe dollar is also available for a visa. Yes, and in dollars. I want to be sure that you are getting the best. So in one place you have all of your business accounting and credible insights that let you know how money comes in, how money goes out in the process of all of these things. Don't go yet. In the next little segment I'm going to be telling you the exciting things that we are going to be wrapping up with, and at the same time what to look for in the next podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you.
Wait, do you know that the GoBusiness app is now launched? Do you know what that means? It means as a business owner, you can send your money anywhere to order anything across board. Number 2, you can receive a seamless transaction right from your client. What are you waiting for, Mama Maka? Download the app now. Start enjoying the benefit of seamless transfer.
Thank you so much, Leko, for the explanation and the solution that GoFree has provided in GoBusiness for business owner. To our users, I'm going to, I don't know, you might have a business, whether you are just starting out or you are in the mid phase of your business, or maybe you've even grown to a level where you can employ staff and you've been facing challenges around paying your staff. Go to the website of GoBusiness. You can go to business.joingofree.com. In this place, you'll be able to create a bank account, manage your business finances, pay your staff easily, and I'm very certain that you'll find a host of other things that make it easy. Lekon, sorry, before we wrap up this program, I've heard from one of the team before that even if business owner want to have a bank account but they've not registered their business, like you have a partnership with some registration company that can help them handle the registration of their business to make it easy for them to own a bank account. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So it means that if I have a business and I'm not yet registered, but at least I want to start out, I could still at least take advantage by reaching out to you people that, okay, that's fine. So for our users, in case you have a business you've not registered, but you want to start registering your business, it means GoFree will start with you from the beginning till the end as your business begin to grow into as big as you want it to be. So thank you for joining me on today's podcast. Leko, thank you also for sparing me time to be on the podcast today. Next week, to our user, I want to talk about another product from GoFree specifically. I'm not going to lie to you. I find this very interesting personally because it works for me. And I'm very excited about this particular one. It's about one of your products, Leko, Go Premium. That product is sweet. I've seen ads about it. I've personally downloaded it. I've done the registration. I've used it. And I can tell you it's very sweet. And I would like that you will be present next week for us to talk about Go Premium. Go Premium will be the next edition. And I can't wait for next week to come while I share with you all of the incredible things that Go Premium is all about. And if you want to go ahead of me, you can check it out before we meet next time. Thank you for staying with me. Once again, I'm Feromin, your host for today, and you will always see me on the screen to tell you beautiful things about your finance. Let's enjoy freedom together. Bye-bye.
Bye.